Hi guys, so I'm gonna read Fantastic Four number 32. So who is the Invincible Man? You are not likely to read a tale like this ever again. Truly it is a Marvel masterwork of most compelling excellence. Death of a hero. Never before such daring drama, such raw realism. The fabulous Fantastic Four experience a great tragedy in the death of a hero. As our great book-length tale begins, we find the brilliant Reed Richards once again attempting to change the Thing back to human form, permanently. Introducing the surprise villain of the season, Deadly Mysterious, the Invincible Man. Can you guess who he is? Story by Stan Lee, who has never been more dramatic. Illustrations by Jack Kirby, who has never been more thrilling. Inking by Chick Stone, who has never been more realistic. Lettering by S. Rosen, who has never been more than an hour late. All controls ready for operation, Reed. Only Reed would dare to try to help Ben by altering the microelectric waves of his body. I sure hope it works. Who designed this wacky contraption for you? Rube Goldberg? I feel like a prize nut in here. Quiet, Ben. I'm about to switch it on. Good luck, old friend. And so, with a silent prayer, the fabulous Mr. Fantastic activates his complex electronic machine as the powerful Thing sits motionless, not knowing what will happen next. Then there is a blinding flash of many-hued lights, and when the glare is faded, "You've done it, Reed! He's Ben Grimm again!" But that's only half the problem. Now we have to see if the change will be permanent, and if there are any dangerous after effects. Working with all the skill of the scientific genius he is, Reed finds pulse normal, heartbeat strong. So far, so good. If we're successful, we'll have lost an irreplaceable member of our team, but it will be worth it, for Ben's sake. You mean he'll never ever be able to become the Thing again? That's right, Sue. After 24 hours, if he is still Ben Grimm, he'll remain that way for the rest of his life. Then he can marry Alicia and settle down, if that's what he wants. Let him rest now. We'll check him again in an hour. Things won't seem the same without the Thing. He's my big buddy, and I want her to be normal, to marry the gal he loves. But why can't he also be the Thing also? He's one of us. He belongs. Nuts. If the experiment fails, I'll be sorry for him. But if it works, I'll be sorry for me. I don't know what to hope for. Meanwhile, countless light years away, in a far distant galaxy, a strange shimmering ray shoots out of the planet whose name we of Earth could never even learn to pronounce. Cutting through space faster than a trillion laser beams, knifing through time and infinity by his science totally alien from our own, the mysterious ray finally comes to a rest at a certain portion of the planet Earth, the exact target at which had it be named. And, as the indescribably powerful beam strikes the peak of a long-dead volcano on a lonely crater isle, the isolated mountain blazes into new life, hurling off its peak with a thunderous roar. Then slowly, awesomely, a strange and ominous figure begins to move upward, toward the surface. A powerful, sinister figure, which will represent one of the greatest menaces the Fantastic Four have ever faced. Finally, reaching the summit of the volcano, the figure stops and ponders for a moment. Then, as though reaching a momentous decision, it bursts into flame and flashes away towards the mainland, like a fiery comet. I know what must be done, and nothing shall stop me. While back at FF headquarters, I'm glad you were able to come, Alicia. It's time to check Ben again, and I knew you'd want to be here. I still can't believe we're going to lose the big guy. Or maybe I just don't want to believe it. But I'm worried about those after effects you mentioned, Reed. I hope nothing happens to Ben. Listen, someone's coming. Look. It's Ben. But how is he?
All right, pal. You got some explaining to do.
Ben, what's wrong? He looks mad.
You're darn right I'm mad. I don't know what's going on here, but I don't like it.
Easy, Ben. We've nothing to fight about. Ben, cool it off, pal. What's bugging you?
Keep away from me. All of you, keep away.
Stay back, Johnny. Don't frighten him. I was afraid of reaction like this. Ben, my darling. What is it? What have we done?
Who are you? Who are you? How do you know my name?
What am I doing here?
He doesn't know us. Sue, throw your invisible force field around him. Hold him. I know what must be done. All right, Reed, but I don't understand. It's one of the after effects I feared. Physically, he weathered the changeover in perfect shape, but he suffered a memory loss. He has amnesia. Raise the field slightly so I can feed him this sleep gas. He doesn't know me. He doesn't remember me. Oh, Sue, I've lost him. Don't, Alicia, dear. It'll be all right. Reed will fix things somehow. Everything checked out. We were so close to success. Poor Ben. What are you going to do now, Reed? I got to reverse the microelectric waves. It's less than 24 hours. There's still time to change him to the thing. It's what he'd want. Being Ben Grimm would be meaningless to him without his memory, without his love for Alicia.
Hiya, Stretch. Hey, I'm still my
Old lovable self. What gives?
I'm afraid I failed, Ben. The change didn't work out.
Some hot-headed chat scientist you are. Maybe I should have teamed up with Doc Doom.
I can understand your disappointment, Ben, but I'll keep trying. I promise.
big deal.
Hi, Alicia. Boy, am I glad to see you. Another day ain't a complete waste.
Oh, Ben, it's you. You're yourself again. I'm so happy. But Reed, why didn't you tell him that the experiment did work? The change would have been permanent. It was only his memory that suffered. You didn't fail completely. No, dear, it's better this way. The disappointment won't be as keen. Boy, I wonder if he knows what a great pal you really are, Reed. You let him think you were a complete flop in order to soften the blow for him. Meanwhile, the strange creature we had seen before nears the great harbor of New York. Seeing the skyline in the distance, he dives into the sea, changing from a flaming firebrand to a silent seagoing stalker.
I'm almost within sight of my goal. At this hour the streets are dark, almost deserted. None will see me.
A short time later, in the lonely cell of Dr. Franklin Storm, the imprisoned father of Sue and Johnny. See Fantastic Four #1, editor.
He is the one I seek, and now it is a simple matter to rearrange the earthly molecules of my pliable form.
Am I losing my mind? I seem to sense another presence here with me.
No, there is someone here, someone behind me, but it's impossible.
Nothing is impossible in this vast universe, Dr. Storm.
What, it's like looking into a mirror.
Silence.
I must work fast.
You are about to take a journey, Dr. Storm, such as no mortal has ever taken before. A journey to the 5th quadrant of the Andromeda Galaxy, from which you shall never return.
The next morning, 2 famous visitors appear at the warden's office. Of course I'll issue a pass for you to see your father. It's been years since he's had callers. Poor Dad. He didn't want us to see him. He wanted us to forget him, as if we could. He wouldn't let anyone tell us where he was. He sacrificed so much for us. I remember how it all began, those long years ago, when we were a happy, loving family. The medical society is giving a dinner in your father's honor, children. We won't be back till late. Will you cook dinner for Johnny, Sue, dear? Of course, Daddy. Gosh, we were so proud of you. I wish I was a great surgeon, too. But Dad never reached that dinner, for the car suffered a blowout on the way. And my poor mother...
Mary! Mary! Oh, no, not you too!
Or just not you. Dad had miraculously escaped unscathed, but Mother was critically injured. You did your best, Franklin, but it was hopeless. No one could have saved her. I saved so many, but now my own wife. Dad never recovered from the shock. He gave up his medical practice. Life seemed to hold no meaning for him. He blamed himself for Mother's fate. and he slid down and down. "You've lost enough tonight, Storm. Why don't you go home?"
What for? Mary isn't there.
"She's gone. I'll bet it all on the red." Finally, his gambling losses took all his money. Then he borrowed from an underworld shark, and when he couldn't repay in time...
"No, you can't threaten me or my children. They're all I have. Put that gun away. It'll go off. Ooh."
Still riddled by guilt feelings, Dad wouldn't say nothing in his own defense on the trial, and he silently accepted the sentence of 20 years to life for manslaughter. But he never meant to hurt anyone. If only we had been able to testify, to help him. He did it to save us. He'll be eligible for parole one day, and perhaps his good record will speak in his favor. And now I know you want to see him. Minutes later.
"You're 15 minutes, Storm."
"I won't need that long."
Dad looks so angry. So different. "Hello, Dad. We know you don't like us to come here, but we wanted you to see you so badly. We wanted you to know we're working on your parole, trying to do everything we can."
"That will not be necessary."
"Ooh, what do you mean?"
"I shall show you what I mean. Prepare yourselves for the surprise of your life. During my years here, I have worked in the prison laboratory. Nobody ever suspected that I was making myself invincible."
"Invincible? Something's wrong with him. Something bad."
"Sit in your chair, Storm. You know the rules." "Rules no longer apply to the invincible man."
He's vanishing."
"Invisibility is but one of my powers. Whatever the Fantastic Four can do, I can do better. Now I shall escape, using the strength of the thing. Bam!"
"It's impossible." "But he did it. He escaped before our eyes."
"Well, don't just stand there. We gotta turn on the alarm."
"Dad!"
"After him. He couldn't have gone far."
"Johnny, I can't believe it. We gained our powers due to the effects of cosmic rays. But how did he?" "It's more than I can figure out. I better signal for Reed and Ben. On the double."
"He called himself the Invincible Man, did he? We'll see how invincible he is."
"Look, Ben.
Our red alert signal. Get the Fantasticar, fast. One of these days you're gonna have to get something yourself, and the shark will kill me. Wait for me, Alicia, baby. I gotta tag along with Rubberhead and make sure he doesn't get a ticket for passing the stop sign. Benjamin, did your dear old Aunt Petunia ever tell you that silence is golden?"
"Nah, she never stopped talking long enough to say anything."
"Okay, Ben. Let's quit clowning and concentrate on finding Sue and Johnny." The signal came from downtown, where they had last gone to visit their dad, and not far away after the Fantasticars flown past.
"I've done it. I've convinced the world that I'm Dr. Franklin Storm. And now for the second part of my task. The complete destruction of the Fantastic Four. All is in readiness. I cannot fail. But I need one more thing. One final touch. If I'm to call myself the Invincible Man, then I must look like an Invincible Man. And now I'm ready. Stand aside, weaklings. Make way for the Invincible Man."
"That's the name the fugitive Dr. Storm called himself, according to the radio report. That corny costume won't help him. Grab him! Hold him for the police!"
"Bah!
See how easily I prevent any of you from attacking me by means of my invisible force field. And when I'm weary of that, I can surround myself with a protective flaming fence. For I possess all the powers of the Fantastic Four, and far more besides."
"Dad, stop! You don't realize what you're doing."
"I see you finally found me."
"I'm drawing the flaming fence into myself, Sue, while you reason with him. Dad, tell me, why are you doing this? And how did you manage to gain powers similar to ours?"
"Similar to yours?
Fools, they far exceed yours.
Look, Doc, you're our partner's dad.
We don't want to hurt you, but you can't keep acting like a professional nut."
"You dare speak that way to me? Kneel, you buffoon! Kneel to the Invincible Man!"
"Holy cow! His arm feels as strong as mine."
Don't force us to fight you, Dr. Storm. You've got to listen to reason. You can't run amok through the city this way. You need help. You're a sick man.
Sick, am I, Richards? I'll show you how sick I am. I warned you of my power, but you chose not to believe.
He is as strong as a thing. But how? Lucky my body is pliable, or the impact might have floored me. What could have changed Dr. Storm into a murderous menace?
You still hold your grip upon me, eh, Richards? Well, this will break it. All I need to do is heat my own hands, like the torch.
Dad, this is insane.
So is your father.
Stop him before we have to hurt him. Do something, kid.
Perhaps I can restrain him with my invisible force field while we try to plan some new strategy. I can't use my flame against him, not against my own dad. I just can't. The torch will not use his flame, but I have no such scruples. You cannot control your invisible force field if the sidewalk under you is too hard to bear.
I'll get you, Sue.
I have proven that nothing can stop the Invincible Man.
Dad, wait. We can't let you leave like this. Give yourself up. We'll help you.
No one tells me what to do, least of all you.
He spun me like a top. He's impervious to my flame. Are you all right, Johnny? Yeah, but what's our next move? What can we do?
Look at Reed. He's up to something.
Stay back, all of you. By making a high-tension spring of my body, perhaps I can crash into him, knocking him out before he can stop me. It's the only way to subdue him before he does any serious damage.
Ben, look out! Stand aside!
Twang.
Can't help myself, pal. Stu's got me in that blamed invisible force field of hers.
Thank you, young lady. That was most helpful of you.
Forgive me, Reed. I had to do it. I just couldn't take a chance of you hurting my dad. You have been hurting him far more by protecting him, Sue. Hey, what's going on? Are we starting to fight each other now?
Get off of me, will ya? I feel like a mattress.
If I'm the leader of the group, you've got to trust me. Obey me implicitly. I never seen him so upset, so annoyed with me. There. Thanks to your interference, he's gotten away. And just when we almost had him.
What do you want to do?
What do you want? What is that? What do you want we should do? Yeah, that's not. Anyway.
Teacher, stand in the corner? Shut up, Ben. We're in a jam now.
And then Reed Richards' worst fears are realized as a hostile crowd begins to follow the frustrated foursome.
Boo, you let him get away 'cause he's related to you. You don't mind catching crooks as long as they're not friends or relatives, huh? Some crime fighters you are. He wouldn't have escaped the Avengers. How do you know you're not in cahoots with them? Those four phonies ought to be run out of town. He's got the same powers as you. That's mighty suspicious, I say. The FF are probably behind the Invincible Man.
Listen to the ugly mood of the crowd. And it's all my fault. Reed was right.
Phooey, mobs don't worry me. Tomorrow they'll forget all about this.
Not if we do something about Dad, they won't. And the words of Johnny Storm proved to be prophetic, for the next day the press takes up the hue and cry. Power station wrecked by Invincible Man, where are the Fantastic Four? Daily Chronicle, Invincible Man invades bank. Public demands investigation of the inactive Fantastic Four. Morning News, why do FF pull punches with Invincible Man? DA demands probe into activities of Fantastic Four. Gotham Gazette. Now that's interesting. Well, that's if you don't, that's the Gotham City newspaper in DC. That obviously DC and Marvel are separate. That's kind of weird. This could be like some sort of inside thing. But I don't know. I don't think the Gotham Gazette was that it wasn't that like popular of a lore thing. Like people didn't have the internet, obviously. So I don't know. Who knows? But and Gotham also meant New York. Gotham always also means New York. But it has the same name as the newspaper in the Batman comics. But FF in new powder puff brush with the Invincible Man. City News, authorities warn Fantastic Four. Fight or bow out. Later, atop the Baxter Building Tower Suite. Boy, this business of being the idol of millions ain't what it's cracked up to be. There's only one thing to do. I gotta resign from the FF. You and me both, sis. We're no good to Reed anymore. He'll be better off without us. I better go and talk with him. Reed, Sue and I have been thinking. The best thing to do is... You two have done enough thinking. I'll handle that department from now on. Excuse me, sorry. Excuse me. You get ready for action. We've got work to do. Yeah, sorry. I don't know if I said this at the beginning, but I did a video today, where I combined it. It was like a YouTube short, and I combined Big Mac and Whopper, and it was very putrid and disgusting. I didn't eat all of it. I only ate like I ate the smaller hamburger, and then I ate like the outside of the Whopper or whatever. But yeah, or Mick Whopper or whatever it was. It was like a disgusting combination. But anyway, you mean you still want us after all that's happened? Yes, you're both habit forming. Yes, you're both habit forming. Now help me buckle this machine on my back. Sure, but what is it? You'll find out later. Move, boy. And then, now, listen all of you. Your rest period's over. Where's the Invincible Man last being sighted? At the World's Fair. At the World's Fair, Reed, but don't just sit there. Let's go. Hold it, Stretch. What's in Ding Dong Sam Hill is going on here? Stow it, Ben. I'm through explaining. You three are going to learn to follow orders blindly if need be. Now let's get to that fair. Exactly 20 minutes later.
So, you haven't learned to stay away from me yet? Or perhaps you came to see the exhibits? If so, here's one you can have for free.
Look alive, Ben. Hurl that mechanical display back at him.
Okay, but stop shouting, String Bean. You want to make me neurotic?
Whip.
There. Let him chew on this for a while.
Have you forgotten so soon that I possess the power
of Sue's invisible force field?
Oomph. We've forgotten nothing. I now possess the power to destroy you. Reed, no, he's still my father. He's not your father. I know at last who he really is, and I know how to beat him. Don't do it, Reed. This is an ultrasonic radio transmitter I'm holding, and I'll have it beamed to your home galaxy. I'm contacting them now, telling them to return the real Dr. Storm, or we'll fight you to the death.
No, you couldn't have found out. You couldn't!
We could, and we did. Once again, you made the fatal mistake of underestimating the human brain. So startled is their foe that Reed manages to land a crushing blow before he can react. You thought you could discredit us, make us not fight you, by posing as Dr. Storm, didn't you?
Yes, but now there's no need for disguise. Now I can be myself again. I can dissolve this accursed human guise.
It's the Super Skrull.
Of course, witless female. Did you think my home planet would allow me to be trapped in that volcano forever?
See Fantastic Four number 18, editor. But what about my father? Don't worry, dear. They're going to return him to Earth, to trade him for the Super Skrull. See, they started the prisoner exchange. They knew we could defeat him in a fair fight, but they gambled on convincing us that he was your father, to divide us and weaken us. When I contacted them, they knew the game was up. They'll return your dad, Sue. They've no further need for him. But how could he have guessed? There were no clues. Let's return to HQ, dear, and I'll explain. Then back at the Baxter Building. But Reed, what if they don't return Dad? What if they break their word? They wouldn't dare. I've zeroed this atomic space displacer right on their home planet, using their own power beam as a direction finder, and they know it. You mean you could bombard them with nuclear power if they double-cross us, Reed? Something like that, Johnny. The mechanics are too difficult to explain. I suspected the truth from the first. I knew that no one could duplicate our powers in an ordinary prison lab. There I had to be another explanation. Then I remember the one foe did have the powers same as we. I gotta recheck the aisle where we imprisoned the Super Skrull last year. Using my long-distance scanner beam, I soon found what I was seeking. The crater's peak has been opened. The Super Skrull is free. During our last encounter, I took electron photos of the Invincible Man with a concealed camera, and my proof was complete. His molecular body structure is in a constant state of instability, the same as the Skrulls. That's the answer. Perhaps I shouldn't have lost my temper with you. Perhaps I should have explained them. But I was too worried, too anxious to get back and work on my space displacer. Every second was vital. At any rate, we've been successful. The Super Skrull is on his way back to his home galaxy, and your father will soon be returned to Earth via the same incredible Skrull transport ray. And on the Skrull's home planet, once again the accursed humans have beaten us, despite our intellectual superiority. No, we are not beaten yet. Though we must return the Earthling, we can use him to destroy the Fantastic Four forever. Hear my plan. And as the long, tense moments tick by, all circuits are open and functioning. All coordinates are perfectly meshed. Your father should appear momentarily. Golly, Reed, if you can really pull this off. I still can't believe it. It's like a nightmare. Easy, kid. The worst is over for now. Don't be too sure, Ben. The Skrulls are an inhuman, merciless race. They're capable of anything. The threat of nuclear destruction of their planet will make them return your father. But we must still be wary of any trick, any deadly deception. Why doesn't something happen? The suspense is killing me. Look, there's the ray. Now keep your eyes peeled. A figure is appearing. It's Dad. If I saw this in a comic book, I wouldn't have believed it. Stop! Stay back! We must be sure. Dad, it's really you. He's alive. I can see him breathing. How about that? But then suddenly the stunned figure looks about him and exclaims in fear.
No, go back! Stay away from me!
Dad! Dad! What happened to him? Just as I feared. The Skrulls made a living booby trap of him. Oh no, he isn't. Get a grip on yourself, kid. He's had it. They strapped him with some sort of high-impact explosive beam to his chest. If he'd had merely looked at us, we would have received the full deadly charge, and he'd have survived. Let me have him. I'll put him on that sofa. But he rolled over facing the floor so that he would take the full brunt of the force of the beam, rather than us. We owe him our lives. Oh, Dad, Dad. Don't cry, Sue. Or you, Johnny. Don't feel sorry for... Oh, that's, Mr. Ray. Okay, so don't cry, Sue. Or you, Johnny. Don't feel sorry for me. Send over an ambulance, pronto. You'll be too late, Ben. I was foolish. Weak. I let a tragedy of life defeat me years ago. I didn't have the courage to carry on, as I should have, for you. But now, somehow, I found my courage. So perhaps I made up for the years I wasted. That's why you must not cry. At last I've regained my pride. Think kindly of me, my children. Always remember, I loved you. Never forget how proud you made me, with your honor, your valor, your selfless love. My life has been lonely all these years, but now I'll be lonely no more, do you hear? I'll be lonely no more, for I'm going to join my beloved Mary. Dad! He's gone. Richards, what's going on here? There was a report of an explosion. Do you know anything about it? Come on, officers, I can explain. I don't take much stock in what the papers say about you. I know you've done the great things you've done in the past. But you've been acting mighty strange lately, ever since this Invincible Man business. You need worry about that no longer, Captain. The case is closed. Say, that's him on the bed. Or is it? Captain, that's the late Dr. Franklin Storm, one of the finest, bravest men I ever had the honor of knowing. How did it happen, Richards? I'll give you your full account later. But for now, let us say that he died a hero. And so another chapter in the lives of the Fantastic Four comes to a close. The editors feel this is not the time nor place for advertising our next issue, so let's merely say farewell for now as we leave our silent friends alone with their grief. So that was the death of Nathaniel Storm. That was his full name, or Mr. Storm, the Invisible Woman and Human Torch's father. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, that'd be appreciated. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys later.